So whether we can start now? Welcome all and a very good morning. We will start today's session in 5 minutes. Before that, let me take you through our agenda. PM forum will start in some time and will continue for an hour. Then we will take a break for 15 minutes. Please, at the end of the session, we will have question answers followed by vote of thanks and certificate giving. We have 4 important announcements. Today's session is recorded, so any participants who could not attend properly due to technical problems can revisit the recorded session, which is available on local social media platform YouTube after 1 or 2 days. If anybody wants to ask any questions, they can type in chat box. Your questions will be answered by our speakers. We request all participants to provide a feedback which helps us to improve in our upcoming sessions. PD details along with step-by-step instructions to claim PDUs will be provided to all our participants through mail IDs as per attendance. Let me introduce our speakers for today, Mr. Manu. Mr. Manu is a seasoned expert in ongoing improvements and someone deeply committed to driving meaningful change. He has devoted his life to unlocking the hidden potentials within organizations. His journey began with a fascination for management theories and improvement models, eventually leading him to Dr. Goldratt's theory of constraints. This powerful approach inspired him to create Bottom Line Matters, a firm dedicated to revolutionizing the way teams work. With his flagship program, Disruptive Productive, he has empowered business to achieve incredible results by bringing in a fresh perspective to unlocking hidden capacities. His success stories speak for themselves, as he has helped companies dramatically reduce turnaround times, double outputs, and significantly improve completion rates, all without the need for additional resources. If you are a CEO, head of operations, HR head, or L&D head seeking to create lasting change and drive extraordinary results within your organization, let's connect. Together, we can unleash the true potentials of your team and elevate your business to new heights. Now, I welcome Mr. Manu to take over.
Okay, thank you, Girish.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Morning. Good morning to all. Can I see some of you guys? Would you mind switching on your camera? And then you can switch it off.
Sir, actually, they don't have rights to switch on the cameras.
Oh,
They're
bad.
muted, so they
Okay,
can shut
they
it.
cannot even unmute themselves to talk?
No, sir.
No. Okay. Oh, so sorry. This is a small group, so I was expecting that we could interact more, but with whatever policies, we are restricted, but we still can use the chat, right?
Yes, yes.
Isn't there any way to give them the access to unmute? Because the other programs with PMIs, we were able to open up
So,
the mic camera.
sir, one thing, let me check with the admin whether he can mute unmute. So I'll just
Hmm.
check with him. Give me a minute.
Okay, good, good. And Tripti has been invited to the meeting. Okay, guys, good morning. Sunday morning. Um, I think you could have had done something better, but since you are here, you're trapped with me. I'll help you with a new way of looking at some aspects of project management. Okay, I can see here um, everybody except Merlin can understand, I think, Hindi, right? I'm assuming Merlin cannot understand Hindi, but is there anybody else who cannot understand Hindi? Can you just put a note on the chat? Because I tend to use a lot of mixed Hindi mixed. So I just want to make sure that everybody understands what I say. So is
Hello.
everybody yes?
Sir, the participants can mute and mute their mic
Awesome,
now.
awesome,
They
awesome.
can.
Very good, very nice. Thank you.
Thanks.
Is there anybody here who does not understand Hindi? Okay. Okay. Somebody is typing. Okay. So there is Merlin who doesn't understand Hindi, and Deepak also says yes. So do you don't understand Hindi?
No, no, he's
Okay.
from New Zealand.
Okay. Got it. I can understand.
He can.
Okay.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so I will use a bit of Hindi in between, because Hindi has that power of communication, and because we all share that language, it will be easy to understand. So, but Merlin, don't worry. I'll make sure that uh, I translate whatever I speak in Hindi to English so that you get what I'm going to talk about. So let me share the screen. Share screen window, and here it is. Can you please confirm if you are able to see my screen, Girish?
Yes, we can see.
Perfect. And my voice is clear.
Yes, yes. Yes, sir.
Okay, we are all set. Let's start.
Ye-
The title for today's program is uh, Project Management may not become easier, but you can crash the lead time dramatically. Yes, it is an unusually long title for a program. I kept that intentionally to grab your attention. Uh, let's start. I will request all of you to keep a pen and a paper ready. We will use the pen and the paper. Pencil is also okay. We will use this for playing a short game to drive home a point. It's a very important game. Very simple game though, but it's very, very important. So please keep this ready. We will use it in some time. Okay. Before we dive into the content, allow me to share my background with you. I'll not bore you guys with too long a presentation on that. We'll take a couple of minutes and share with you where I'm coming from. So I started my journey right after completing engineering in '94. You guys in India would have heard of these companies. Greaves Cotton was the first company I worked with, and then I worked with a couple of companies. My last job was with Accenture between Mumbai and Bangalore. What happened was somewhere in early 2000, I encountered this book. Somebody suggested me to read this book. The book is The Goal, Dr. Eli Goldratt's The Goal, A Process of Ongoing Improvement. Is there anybody in this group who has either heard about this group or read this book? Anybody? Is there anybody who has seen this book, read this book, heard about this book? Okay, answer only if you have heard. So don't have to answer. Great. Srinivasan has heard about this book. Hey, this book had a profound impact on my life. Okay, when I read this book, I didn't realize the impact it's going to have on my life, but it did. Over the next couple of years, I would have read probably this book early 2002. Over the next couple of years, I would have read this multiple times. Don't ask me why I read it multiple times. It just happened. It was not planned. And then somewhere around 2006 and 7, I decided that this is where I wanted to spend my life on, and took a couple of more years. And then late 2010, I started my firm. My firm's name is Bottom Line Matter, and I'm focused on creating disruptive productivity. The definition of disruptive productivity is creating multiple times. The output has to go multiple times without using any additional resources. With the same infrastructure, how do you increase the output? And that QR code that you see at the bottom of the screen is the link to my LinkedIn, the URL to my LinkedIn. So if you any of you interested in connecting, we'll be happy to connect. Okay, with that, let me come to the agenda. Let me be clear with you that I'm not going to teach you project management. Okay, uh, you are already good at it, and if some of you are just beginning about project management, then PM BOK, PMBOK, whatever you however you call it, is more than enough, and that's the best resource for you to enhance your project management. But I am going to help you see open up for an unusual way of crashing lead times. Okay, this is I'm not going to just leave you with an idea of how to crash. I'm also going to share with you a couple of case studies so that your understanding about the method deepens. And then I'm going to end the session with some implementation steps. I'm going to share the implementation steps so that those of you who are interested can actually do it and experience results. And then we will open up for the Q&A. Good with the agenda? Let me Cool. Let me move on. Okay. So look at this. I'm talking about the truth about flow of work. Doesn't matter which industry, doesn't matter which function or department, irrespective of whichever industry you are from, whether be it manufacturing, be it IT, be it construction, be it banking, doesn't matter. Wherever you are, the work flows towards completion only one way. It moves from one stage to the next, that stage to the next, as the dependencies at each stage get met. Right? For example, just so that ensure that we are all at the same page, you cannot get a coffee, coffee house till you would have placed the order, right? And after you would have placed the order, you will need to make the payment. And only after the payment is made will the barista make the coffee for you. And only after she would have made the coffee, you can pick it up. So you see the dependency at every stage, there are dependencies. In this diagram, the dependencies seem quite simple, but in real life, in what you go through every day, there are far more dependencies. But the principle remains the same, right? That at every stage, there are dependencies. And as dependencies get met, the work will move to the next stage. And then finally, it will get completed. Does everybody agree with this? Does everybody connect with this fact? Answer only if you don't agree. Okay, cool. So we are talking something fundamental. Look, if you want to experience disruptive productivity, if you want to experience disruptive results, breakthrough results, then something fundamental has to change. Okay, and that's the direction we are going. So this pattern remains true for all type of workflows, all type of industries. But project management is a bit different. Why is it? What is different about project management? That here the dependencies sometimes are not clear, not evident till the last minute, and that increases the uncertainty about the completion of the tasks. So there are, you can call it, lot of moving parts, and the project manager is fighting to synchronize all these moving parts, right? And You probably would never see a calm project manager, right? She will or he will always have fire. On this diagram, on this picture, the fire is on his head, but you know where fire is in reality, right? So I understand the project manager's life. I've seen it very, very closely. The project manager's life becomes challenging because she or he has to manage not one metric but three metrics. Not only she has to make sure that things get completed on time, but she also has to worry about the scope promised and the budget, right? And that's what makes project management a little more challenging than the usual operations. The method that I'm going to use is based on this book, The Goal, a process of ongoing improvement. If you haven't read this book, I suggest you buy this. It's a very affordable book, and it's not a theory book at all. You know, theory books are boring to read. This is a management book written in a story form. It's a novel. Okay, it's a novel about how a factory manager or a business head is turning around his business. Okay, and in this form of a story, Dr. Goldratt introduces the concept. Okay, it's brilliant. It's lovely. So if you get a chance, take a look at this. Now, when you get introduced to a method, it doesn't matter with which method. Okay, any method. You read the books, read some articles, you see some videos, and you will get it, and you will understand it. You will nod your head. Yes, I understand what this means. But the difficult part is when you start implementing or when you want to begin your implementation, you get lost. Where do I start? How do I start? What should be the first thing I do? What I have done is I've taken TOC or theory of constraints, Dr. Eli Goldratt's theory of constraints, and made it simple for you to start implementation. So what I am offering you here on this workshop is an implementation made simple. You don't have to understand the methodology. Even without understanding the methodology, if you implement what I'm going to tell you, what I'm going to share with you, you will get results. And the good news is you don't have to wait for months to start seeing results. You will start seeing results week one. Week one, you will start seeing results. Does that excite you? Okay, so can I know, before I jump into the program, can I know which industry are you guys from? Just type in what industry are you from. That will help me keep my um, talk relevant to your industry. Construction, IT, okay, education technology is IT, I think, right? IT, telecom, IT, finance and accounting, okay, lovely. Okay, thanks for sharing that. Let's continue. Um, Before we jump into the subject, I would like to share a story with you. It's a small story. Probably you would have heard about the story, but let me share this. It's a very interesting story. The story is about some scientists who placed a group of monkeys in a cage. And in the middle of this cage, there was a huge ladder. And on top of ladders, on the ladder, a nice, juicy, fruity banana. What will be the monkeys doing? Obviously, uh, they will climb up the ladder, try to grab the banana. Now, what the scientists did, whenever any monkey climbed up the ladder, the other monkeys who were not on the ladder would get punished, with a cold, ice cold water shower. So over a period of time, the monkeys realized that, oh, the other one is climbing up, having fun, and I'm getting punished. So they learned to prevent that from happening. So they would beat up the monkey who would climb up the ladder. And one after the other, everybody will get beaten up. And over a period of time, learned, they all learned not to climb the ladder. Irrespective of the temptation, they learned not to climb the ladder. Now, the scientists did a very interesting thing. They removed one of the old monkeys who had learned not to climb the ladder and brought in a new monkey. And by this time, the punishment of cold water shower had stopped because there was no need, right? So, what will this new monkey do? What will this newly inducted monkey do? You can unmute and talk if you want to. Yeah, absolutely. He will climb. He will climb up. And when that happens, when he or she, will climb up, what will the others do? The other monkeys do? When this new monkey climbs up the ladder, what will the other monkeys do? No, no, not pull down, buddy. Not pull down. He's going to get royally beaten up, right? So, over a period of time, this new monkey will also learn not to climb the ladder. He will get trained. He will get inducted into the team. And the scientists, over a period of time, kept replacing the old monkey and brought in a new monkey. And all those new monkeys never experienced cold shower punishment, but yet learned the behavior that you need to beat up somebody who's climbed up the ladder and you're not supposed to climb up. So now if in this situation, there's nice ripe fruity banana on the top of the ladder, but no monkey is climbing up the ladder to enjoy that, in spite of the fact, irrespective of the fact that none of them have experienced the punishment of cold shower. Now, if you could ask these monkeys, and if these monkeys could talk back to us, hey, what happened? Why are you not going up? What is the problem? What answer could we expect from them? What will the monkeys tell us? You can unmute. You can unmute and answer small groups so we can keep it interactive. Huh? Why are you not climbing? Why are you guys not climbing up? Why are you beating up? And in all probability, they will tell us that हमारे यहाँ तो ऐसे ही होता है. This is how things happen at our place. So you all have spent years in which whatever place you are in, whatever industry you are in, and you're all boxed up. Sorry, like these monkeys. Today, today you will consciously promise me, you will be awake to make sure you are not trapped in this thinking that this is how things happen in my place. This is how things happen in my company. Because what I'm going to share with you today is a dramatically opposite thing to what you are being taught to do. Dramatically opposite. So much so that most of you will think that what I'm going to share with you is harmful. I'm not saying don't buy what I'm telling you to do, but just be open to experiment. What if it works? So promise, today we will not be trapped in this thinking that this is how things happen in my life, my company, my team, my industry. We're going to break some of those patterns. Do you promise? Are you guys with me? Thank you, Deepak, Sushant, Hemam, Rohan, Marlene. Thank you. I don't know what about others. There are 20. So I got only 5 answers. There are 15 more people. I hope you guys are with me. Okay. So let's not get trapped today. Let's dive deeper. What I'm going to share with you is a very, very simple thing. But it's completely opposite to the current common sense. And hence it's going to be difficult to implement. It's going to be difficult to implement not because the process is difficult, not because the process is complex, but only because it's completely opposite to the current common sense. Okay, so here it is. We already spoke about this, right? That work flows from start to finish through number of stages, and it will move from one stage to the next only when the dependencies are met. So let me ask you this. Okay, let me ask you this. And I hope some of you will be able to unmute and talk about this. Let me ask you this. If things are not getting completed as fast as you want, if things, if the work is not getting finished as fast as you want, it only means one thing, that the flow, somewhere the flow is getting slowed down. The flow is getting stopped. That is the only reason, right? Why things will not get finished as fast as you want is only because somewhere the work, somewhere that task or activity is getting slowed down. So let me ask you this. What are the reasons for the stoppages of flow? Why does the flow slow down? Why does the flow slow down?
Acha, I request all participants to unmute and answer.
One by one, not all of you together.
Yeah,
Yeah, why does it slow down? See, all these are big words, bottleneck, constraints. Can we use simpler words where unforeseen events? Great, good start. So what are these unforeseen events? Prerequisite not available. Perfect. So what are these prerequisites? He is overburdened. Okay, right. What do you mean by overburdened? Resources are diverted to other priorities. Super. Okay, so you guys know it, but let me use slightly different words. Uh, Tell me if you don't agree with me on this. Tell me if you don't agree with me on this. The only reason, doesn't matter which industry, doesn't matter which function, the only reason, there are only three reasons, and that's how simple and fundamental this is. There are only three reasons for stoppages of work: the flow of work. The first reason is the worker or the operator. I'm using the word worker or operator. All it means is the person who is doing the work is unavailable. And by unavailable, I mean could be absent, could be busy with some other thing. A particular work will stop, like somebody in the chat said, the resource, in this case human resource, is diverted to some other priority. So the number one reason, or one of the reason, is the operator or person doing the work is unavailable. At this point in time, we are not getting into the reasons for unavailability. The person is just not available. The second reason is that some input is missing, and this input could be clarity, the input could be information, the input could be approval, the input could be maybe something material, physical material, doesn't matter. Some input is missing. And the third reason is that the equipment or the tool the person is going to use or operate to complete the work is unavailable. A machine or equipment or your software application. Other than these three reasons, there is no other reason for the work to slow down. Any reason that you can think of will fit into these three: operator unavailable, some input missing, or the equipment is unavailable. Again, equipment could be unavailable because the equipment is doing something else, some other work, or it's in a breakdown situation. Are you able to connect with this? Yes, Ashish, I didn't see the chat before. Man, machine, material. Perfect. In this case, instead of material, we can call it input, because in IT, for example, there is no material. It's all uh, in digital form, right? All good with it so far? So let's move on. Let's move on. Okay, so now look at the situation. Now look at the situation. Let's just let's look at this particular person. Okay, in your team or in this flow, there are multiple people. There are five other people, but right now, just look at this person. And I'm not taking this person because she is or he is the first action in the flow. It could be anybody. So this person has a lot of things to do, right? A lot of things to do. Let's look at the first one. Okay, now let's say this person is working on the first task or first activity or the first piece of work, and for some reason now he cannot proceed working on this particular job. Why? Because some information is missing, and he's waiting for the client to come back or some other team member to come back. He just cannot proceed. What would you ask him or her to do? What would you ask him or her to do? Okay, yes, you're right. So that has been done. You have, she has or he has informed whoever has to be informed. And now this work will come maybe, let's say, 2 days from now, let's say 5 hours from now. What will you ask this person to do? Absolutely. Thank you. We will ask this person to pick up the next one, the second one. There are 50 other things to complete, right? You will ask the person to pick up the next one. Why wait idle? Come on, pick up the next one. And the next one too also get stuck. Some input somebody is supposed to give, and it will take some time. Now, what will you ask the person again to do? Everybody agreeing with this? As Deepak is saying, let's move to the next one. There are 50 other things to complete. Let's move to the next one. Right? So, whenever work gets stuck, whenever we are waiting for the dependency for that work, we will ask that person who's doing it to move to the next one and the next one and the next one. Why? Why do we? Why do we do that? Why do we do that? Why do we ask this person to move to the next one? To keep productive. Cannot keep him idle. To avoid losing time. Else other work in the queue will get delayed. To save time. Guys, yeah, we all believe, we all believe a resource sitting idle is a waste. Is there anybody in this group who doesn't believe this? We believe a resource sitting idle is a waste. So instead of allowing him or her to keep idle, we ask them to move to the next one and the next one and the next one. Our primary objective as a manager is to make sure resources are not idle, because a resource sitting idle is a waste. Agree? A resource sitting idle is a waste. You know, if I take a little blood of from you and look at it under a microscope, I probably will not see as much hemoglobin as much as this belief. This belief is deep. It has gone into our bones, and hence we will do everything possible to make sure we have a high resource utilization. है ना? Right? Okay, so let me ask you this now. Let me ask you this. Is it true that a resource sitting idle is a waste? Hey, it's not a trick question. I'm just making sure that I've got it right. Is it true that a resource sitting idle is a waste? Deepak is injecting some doubt into this now. Maybe not always. Okay, Deepak, let's see this. And everybody else, let's see this. You know what this is, right? Um, we have multiples of them at our house, isn't it? Some people have two, some people have three, maybe four. What is the resource utilization of this? And mind it, most of us are staying in a urban area where the real estate prices are high, and this particular thing is blocking quite a bit of real estate. We could probably have had a small bedroom there in its place, but instead we have two or three or four of them in our house. And what is the utilization? I'm not asking what is the use. I'm saying what is the utilization? How many hours are you using? Hours is a bad metric, bad unit. It should be minutes. How many minutes in a day do you use? You all have cars, bikes. You have vehicles. Some of you have multiples of them, and some of you will even have drivers, multiple drivers. Have you ever seen anybody saying, "Hey, I have spent lakhs"? Lakhs is a unit of currency in India, Merlin. It's like 10 lakh is 1 million. Okay, so you have spent millions of rupees, hundreds of thousands of dollars on the vehicle. And have you ever heard somebody saying, "Hey, I need to keep the resource utilization high, so keep it running, let it keep going"? Have you ever heard anybody saying, "Driver, I'm paying you so much salary. I want to see your resource utilization high. Keep driving. Or for that matter, the lift in your residential complex or lift in your commercial and in your office buildings. What is the utilization of the lift? Again, I'm not talking use, utilization. How many hours in a day is it used? In these circumstances, I don't think any of you is bothered about its utilization, in spite of having to spend, hundreds of $1,000s, lakhs of rupees in these resources. Yet we are not bothered about its utilization. What are we bothered about? In each of these, cases, in each or in these three cases that I'm giving you as an example, what are you really bothered about? What metric are you really bothered about? Really? Are you bothered about optimal utilization? What is the utilization of the lift? What is the utilization of that commode? Yeah, thank you, Deepak. Availability. Thank you, Ashish. Availability. All you are bothered about is I need that commode when I need it. I need that car when I need to get out and travel somewhere. I need that lift when I want to go up and down the building. The availability is so much in your head that just try to recollect. You've pressed the button at the lift. It has not arrived for the next 4 seconds, 5 seconds. You press it again. Hey, where is the lift? All you are bothered about in these circumstances is availability of the resource. You're not bothered about utilization at all. So what happens when you come to work? As soon as you get out of that lift, you completely forget this. As I think Deepak, somebody injected a doubt, right? Maybe this is not so. Maybe a resource sitting idle is not a waste all the time. And this is the injection I want to, you know, go deeper. Let's look at the flow. We spoke about that things don't get completed. I'm going a bit slow intentionally so that we are able to understand the fundamental. Okay, so be with me, please. When you look at the flow, start to finish, start to complete, it goes through stages. And if it is not getting completed as fast as you want, it only means the flow is getting slowed down or stopped somewhere in this journey. So what determines the flow is the obstacle. What is the obstacle to the flow? And hence, if you want to get things completed faster, if you want to get things completed sooner, then you need to understand obstacles. And that is what we are going to do. We're going to understand one of the biggest obstacle to the flow. Okay. So if you have that pen and paper ready, this is the time to bring it up. Do you have the pen and paper? We're going to play a game, a small game. It's going to take a few minutes, but it's hard hitting. I've seen many people falling off their chair after this game. Not literally, okay? You will not fall off the chair. I mean, you will get, oh, what is this? Do you have the pen and paper? Can we start the game? Super. I see only 3 people. Okay, okay, good. Here we are. Let me first explain the game. Okay, don't do anything now. Just listen to me about the instructions of how to play this game, and then we will. So the game is called the switching game. Okay, and by switching, I will explain to you what switching means. So there are three types of work that you need to complete: the letters A, B, C, D, E, F up till Z, Z, and then there are numbers corresponding to it: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up till 26, and then there are shapes corresponding to it. You will see the shapes are repeating after every third. So it starts with a triangle, square, circle, then a triangle, square, circle, then a triangle, square, circle, till it reaches the Z, Z, 26 square. Your job is to write or complete all these three different type of tasks. We're going to play this 2 times. The first time when you play, you must switch. You need to switch. Okay, which means you will write A, and then you will write 1, and then you will do the triangle. Then you will do B, and then 2, and then the square. You have to switch. Okay, so please don't try to be smart. Just switch. Experience the game as it is supposed to be. And the second time when we play, we will not switch. Okay, and I'm going to put up a timer here. As soon as you finish the last square, Z26 square, note the time. Okay, so let me bring the clock, share entire screen. Okay, here is where is the clock? Girish, can you see the clock
Yes,
as well
yes,
as
sir.
the presentation?
Yes,
Thank you.
yes, yes.
Okay, great. So let me repeat this instruction so that you're very clear what is to be done. You need to complete the entire sequence of letters A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. I've not written E, F, G, H, but you have to do all, right? Everything in the sequence up till Z. And the corresponding numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up till 26, and the shapes. You have to switch the first time when you're playing, which means you will do a letter, then a number, and then the shape. The second time when we play, we will not switch. We will complete the letters, all the letters, and then all the numbers, and then all the shapes. Okay, are you ready? On your marks, get set, go. Try to complete this as soon as possible, and you must switch. Are you switching? You must switch. It's almost a minute. It's a minute and a half. Where are you guys? Where is my project? Why are you late? Note the time as soon as you complete. It's 2 minutes now, and I'm going to pause my timer. There, I'm pausing it. Doesn't matter if you haven't completed it. It's okay. It's okay. Anybody who could complete it? Okay, there are, I think, 2 people who have said completed it. The others couldn't complete it. No problem. But you understand in 2 minutes where you have reached. Okay, let's let's play this one more time. Let me reset the clock. This time, don't switch. This time, don't switch. Just complete all the letters first, then the numbers, and then the shapes. Ready? On your marks, get set, go. Hope you are not switching. It's almost a minute. It's almost a minute. I'm going to pause the clock at 1.5 minutes. And I'm sure by that time, everybody would have completed it. Okay, 1 minute 30. I've stopped the clock. Where is, yes, so many done. Great. So um, we're going to take a break. It's a good time to take a break. It's let me put up the clock. We will be back in 15 minutes, right?
Yes, sir. So we'll be
Or,
back
or,
after the
or
break
10
up.
minutes. Or 10 minutes.
As you wish means
Is
10
everybody
has.
okay with, is everybody okay with 10 minutes? Is everybody okay with 10 minutes? Yeah, so let's keep the
Okay.
break to 10 minutes.
Now it is
And
11. So we'll be back at around 11:10.
okay, I have started a
Okay.
clock here for you guys. See you in 10 minutes.
Okay, sir. Yeah, thank you. Sir, actually, I'll be running the PMI presentation. So I need to share the presentation.
How much time do you need to share the presentation?
It will take 10 minutes. So one
You want to
presentation
do
I'll just run.
you want to do it before I complete, or do you want to do it after I complete?
No, this break, no, we'll go for a main break, no?
I didn't get it.
No, this is the break which you're going to give.
Mhm.
Because during the break, I run the presentation.
Oh, okay. Got it. So I will stop sharing.
Okay, sir. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
please,
you'll
please go.
meet at around 10, 11:10.
11:10 at
Yeah.
11:10. Yeah. See you.
Okay, sir. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Welcome all. After a break, let's resume the session. Word to Mr. Mani. Yes, sir. Sir, you're not audible.
Yes, now I am.
Yeah.
Okay, Deepak has shared the link to the book. Thank you, Deepak. Hey, so let's come back to, yes, that is the book. That is a book. Okay, so let's hear your experience. What happened? We played the game twice. What happened? You have the rights to unmute and talk. Oh, can't unmute. Sorry here.
1 minute. Let me reconfirm. 1 minute.
Oh, yeah. Sumit is saying switching task needs time to adjust the pace. Um, Ashish is saying first activity took longer time compared to the subsequent. First one took a bit longer. Is it just a bit? So I would have played this game, or I would have seen this game being played over, I don't know, hundreds of times, thousand probably in the last 13 years. Okay, there's one common experience, and that is that when you switched, it took 2 times longer than when you didn't switch. So most people did, completed uh, the work less than a minute when they did not switch, and it took close to 2 minutes or more when they
Hello,
switched.
हो गया क्या? Unmute. सबका हो गया?
Yes, yes.
Oh, sorry,
Thanks,
sorry.
Girish.
Okay, now you can talk. Tell me, what was your experience?
Actually, all are unmuted now.
Hmm, I know nobody is willing to talk. Not yet for me. Okay.
अच्छा, okay.
Girish, just take a look at it. I think it will be a good no
Correct.
practice to allow participants to switch on their camera and mic whenever they want to,
Okay.
because
Yes,
then
yes,
it
yes.
increases the
Correct.
interaction. You know, so maybe next
Restricting
time.
our videos also.
Maybe next time. Next
Okay,
time,
sure.
maybe. Okay. So look at this. It took twice longer when you switched. Now tell me, you didn't know A, B, C, D, and you didn't know your 1, 2, 3s. Was there a knowledge issue here? I wake you up middle of your sleep and ask you what comes after F. You will tell me, right? You don't have to think about it. There's no knowledge issue. There's no knowledge gap. There is no gap in the domain expertise. Yet it took twice longer. And now what would be happening when you switch in your real work environment? You have to think. It's not the ABCDs and 1, 2, 3s, right? You have to think about what you're doing. What would be happening to your lead times? my experiences, the lead times increase on an average maybe 3 to 4 times at least. I've seen cases where it increases 10 times because you switch. So there is one lesson from this, that switching is bad for lead time. Switching is bad for lead time. Switching is bad for completion time. The more you switch, the more damage it will create to your lead times. And did anybody experience quality issues? Did you have to overwrite when you were switching between the three? A lot of people would have seen that they had to correct. I've seen some people even missing a row. Switching damages quality. The more you switch, the more damage to quality. Switching leads to two damages, not one. It elongates your time to complete, and it even it damages your quality. And that you experience it in a situation where there is no domain knowledge issue. What would be happening to your quality and lead time in your real work environment? And that is the first obstacle to flow. What is the first obstacle to flow? The switching. The more you switch, I'm not advocating make switching zero. Okay, probably it is not possible at all, but we can definitely reduce the amount of switching that we are doing today. And I have a lovely WhatsApp forward. I want to play this video. It it really, you know, communicates, tells you what. Here, where is it? Let me bring it up. Okay. Girish, my screen is visible.
Yes, sir. Your screen is visible.
Okay, so let me play this video. It's a small video. Probably you will see your face or your boss's manager's face on this. Okay, no disrespect here. Okay, here it is. See what happens. Sees what is happening with this poor guy. And that is what is happening all around. Hey, leave this work. This is more urgent. Pick this up, pick this up, pick this up. Do this, do this, do this. As soon as you start that, progress a bit. Hey, leave that, leave that. Pick up this one, pick up this one. This is more urgent. Hey, what happened to that one? Hey, pick that up. You haven't even started that work. What is happening? This is what is happening across the hierarchy. That before we complete one, we are forcing people to switch. And what does switching do? What does switching do? Oops. What does switching do? It does only one thing. It doesn't help. It doesn't help for anything. It just increases the time to complete it elongates the time to complete dramatically, and it damages the quality. So the only way, and this is, and you may not see this, you may not agree right now, but let me tell you that this is rampant in your workspace. You are doing this rampantly with your team, and your bosses are doing rampantly this with you. The direction is to reduce switching. So now, some of you will think and ask, tell me, okay, I get it. I get your point. Very nice. The sounds very good. The video looks very funny, and I agree. But how do I do it? Is it possible? How do I implement? Let me share with you a few case studies. And these case studies will open up your mind to what is possible. Okay, so here it comes. Back to presentation. I'm going to talk about right now the application in a very, very complex environment. And this environment, or this case study, is about repair and maintenance of fighter jets, F-16s. I don't think there is anybody in this room right now who has a more complex environment than this. Is there anybody? So if it works here, if they can find value in doing this, in reducing switching, so can you. I'm going to play the video where Dr. Goldratt is talking about this case. It's a 10-minute video. But before I play the video, let me give you a summary. So when you watch the video again, you will be able to better comprehend and understand what this is. So what happened? What is the situation? The situation is this, that after a few certain number of hours of flying, mandatorily the aircraft has to be grounded, it has to be opened up, and things have to be checked. And where things have to be repaired, it has to be repaired. Where things have to be replaced, it has to be replaced. Right. So when the aircraft gets grounded and they open up, they will see issues. Right. And when they see issues, they will look at in their manual how to resolve this issue. So a lot of issues are written in the manual, and they will do exactly what is written in the book. But there are many other issues which are not written in the book. How is that resolved? That goes to a very specialized group of engineers, and these engineers will decide what is to be done. So every new problem, every time a problem comes to this specialized engineers, it's a unique problem, right? Because every time they encounter a problem and they would have resolved it, they will enter it in the book, right? So the next time they're going to just follow that. But every time a problem comes to this group, it's unique. It's a project, it's a pure project, right? So what used to happen? As soon as the problem is discovered, when you open up and you find that it is not written in the book, then it is assigned to these highly specialized engineers. And there were 70 of them, 70 highly specialized engineers. And each of them had, at any point in time, 50 problems assigned, minimum 50 problems assigned. And it used to take, on an average, from the time when the problem is identified to when the time when the problem is resolved, it used to take 135 days on an average to resolve the problem. How much switching is happening here? You did switching across 3 type of work, right? Here they are doing across 50 problems, 50. So how do you reduce the switching? You assign less number of problems. So what happens to the other problems? which are unassigned, it remains unassigned. So you see, earlier in the earliest before situation, as soon as the problem is identified, it is assigned. So the unassigned problems is near zero. In the new situation, only 3 problems were assigned to the engineers. What happens to the other 47? Each one of them had as the other 47. It goes back into an unassigned state. So a large part of the problems are still unassigned, and completely opposite to the usual discussion, right? What? You haven't even started now? What? You haven't even assigned now? It's completely opposite. They are assigned only 3. And what was the result? The 135 days came down to 30 days. It is a 4.5 times improvement. 135 to 30. Look at what is happening with these engineers. These are very highly specialized critical resources, right? What is happening? When you reduced the number of problems assigned or number of jobs assigned, time to time, the jobs will get stuck. Will wait for some other function or some other department to come back. These engineers cannot do anything on the problem. They have to wait till that person comes back or that function comes back. The engineers had only 3 problems to switch. When all the 3 are stuck, they will have to wait. They will have to wait. They don't have anything else to work on. So the utilization of engineers is coming down. See the irony. You are running after utilization. You are running after improving the utilization of resources. Here, we are bringing down the utilization of resources, yet the time to complete comes down 4.5 times. Yes, Rohit, you're right. Backlog. All the unassigned problems in backlog. Even here, it is backlog. It is still pending to be completed. But because you get a feeling that somebody's name is assigned to it, it's moving faster. Let me now play you that video. Okay. This is Dr. Eli Goldratt. Let me bring up the video. Okay. Share screen, entire screen, audio.
Estimate, no project.
Girish, you could hear the audio?
Yes, sir. We can.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to play this video because I've already shared with you the gist of this video. It'll be easy for you to understand. And there are subtitles also. So here it goes.
A vicious cycle. We have to reverse this vicious cycle. Don't expect to do it in one shot, but it's obvious that the only way to reverse a vicious cycle is that at least one of the actions that we will have to take in the future is opposite of the actions that we are taking today. That's the only way to reverse a vicious cycle. One of the actions will have to be counterintuitive. In other words, it will have to be the opposite of what we're doing now. In order to explain what is the meaning of taking an action which is counterintuitive in order to reverse a vicious cycle, let me tell you a story. It's not a story. It's a real case. And the case is about a very involved project called the big maintenance of the F-16s in the Israeli Air Force. CF16, you fly. After each certain hours of flight, has to go through maintenance, and more hours of flight has to go through more maintenance. But there comes time after certain hours of flight where it goes through a huge overhaul. You're putting it in the depot. They are disassembling the F-16 totally. They're even sandblast the paint. Each portion is disassembled, everything is checked, what has to be replaced is replaced, what has to be fixed is fixed in the large sub-depots that they have there, and then it has to be reassembled together. Now, do you know what the meaning of reassembling an F-16? It's not exactly a matter of a day or two. It's a huge project, of course. And it takes time. Now, like every army, when you are coming to put a new weapon system, you decide on so many airplanes, and because of its such a size of a depot, and then reality is changing a little bit, and then you are buying more airplanes, but you don't have then the budget to enlarge the depot, and now you have some problems of maintaining, and then you push the envelope of a flight. In other words, let's fly the airplanes a little bit more, and then when they're coming to the depot, of course, there's more damage and more wear and tear, so it takes more time to correct them, and you are in this nice loop. In this case, there was even something worse than that. I don't know if you heard about it, but have you heard about Desert Storm? Okay. In Desert Storm, we, as Israelis, we got some missiles from Iraq as gifts. And you know what is a way of provoking Israelis. I'll send a missile on him, and you get immediately the counter reaction. But this time the Americans have really asked us not to do it. And between you and me, I don't know to what extent it's correct, but I think it's correct, so don't take it as a gospel. But if I'm not mistaken, the Americans have bribed us not to attack Iraq. And they bribed us with F-16s. Since Americans are very smart, they didn't give us new F-16s. They gave us F-16s that had to go to this mountain base. They knew that the depot is already blocked. And these F-16s were waiting for a long time. It was a huge problem. This was one of the places, the first places that the Israeli Air Force have used the project management that you see way to rectify things. And let me tell you not about the whole thing, but about one single aspect in that project, which is when you are disassembling and you find something that has to be repaired or replaced. Of course, how do you know if it has to be repaired or replaced? They are working by the book. And they're really working by the book. Because you don't want to find a quality problem when you are flying in 2 Mach at who knows what height, and then to find a quality problem. Okay? Unfortunately, reality is so diverse that the books do not cover every possible scenario. What happens when they find something that is not covered by the book? For that, there are special engineers, a whole department of them. Here I will quote numbers which are not exact. I simply don't know if I'm allowed to quote them or not. Let's say that it's 70 engineers. The ballpark is about, who knows. So when there is a problem that is not covered by the book, it's moved to this department, engineer is assigned, and this engineer has to say what should be done, and he has to follow it in the job shops and in the assembly line up to the point where he's signed, it's done, everything is fine. Only then his involvement is finished. Now, things which are not covered by the book per each aeroplane are hundreds. You can imagine how complex the whole situation is. This department is very loaded. Whenever the problem arrives, it's assigned to an engineer. Now what happens? The engineer works on it. Then he has to go to one of the job shops of repair or to the line in order to see and to explain how it should be done and to supervise it. He comes to the line. Right now they're busy doing something else. So what is he doing? He's going back to work on another problem. And then he reaches the stage where he goes to one of the workshops to show it and so on. They're busy. What is he doing? Going back to work on another problem. Lead time, expense. Remember, lead time, expense, at the same time, all the time new problems are coming. so more and more problems are assigned. If he has now more problems, he's doing more multitasking. If you're doing more multitasking, the lead time expensive and more. If the lead time expensive and more, there's more problems. You see this beautiful vicious cycle? Now, reality is that on the table of each one of these 70 engineers, there is minimum 50 open problems. 50. And the lead time expense, of course, when you have got multitasking. How much is it? This was a real number. The average time that each problem took from the minute that it was identified until it was closed, the average time was over 135 days. Which means you can imagine there were airplanes that couldn't have been returned to the Air Force because of one or two problems which are still open. Huge problem. They've tried to solve it in any possible way. For example, this department of these 70 engineers was the only one who was allowed to go as many overtime hours as they want. No need for authorization a priori. But there is a limit to how much overtime people can work, so it's going down. They were allowed to hire more engineers. But there is a limit to how many engineers like that you'll find. These are the best, most experienced engineers. Okay? They've tried everything, and that's what happened. Now what do you do? Well, what do you think has to be done? How do you reverse the vicious cycle? Let me repeat again the vicious cycle. More problem, more bad multitasking. More bad multitasking, more time until you solve the problem. More time until you solve the problem, more problems. And so on and so forth. Their solution was very simple. They said, no engineer will be assigned more than 3 problems. Period. Which means the problems are aligned to the department, but now they are not assigned to engineers. Only 3 problems per engineer are assigned. When is the new problem assigned? When the engineer is finished and checked, only then it gets a new problem. And what happened when he's stuck on the first problem and second and third? Wait. What do you do? Wait. Totally counterintuitive, right? Now what really happened in reality? First of all, you can understand how much the lead time shrank. Let me just show you what is the mechanism here. I worked on the first problem, I came to you to do it, you're too busy. Working on the second problem, came to you, you're too busy. Working on the third problem, came to you, you're too busy. I don't have any more problems to work on. What do I do now? I'm sending you. Now what happened? After an hour, you have time for it. Otherwise, it would come after months. They have released the actual results of the public domain, the Israeli Air Force, on that thing. And they showed, and they released the average lead time from the minute that the problem was identified until it was finished. Not from the minute that it was assigned to the engineer, but from the minute that it was identified, because usually it was quite a lag until it was assigned to the engineer. And they released the results month by month. First month it's about 135, a little bit over it, and goes down. In 5 months, it was less than 30 days on average. Less than 30 days. How much more engineers were needed? Zero. But something else happened. Overtime went to almost zero. Why? You understand now, first of all, that the lead time can change drastically without changing the capacity. Because remember, the things that kills the lead time is not the time to actually work, but the time from beginning until the end. And when we are doing that multitasking, this lead time goes to the sky. But actually, the whole work was done, not just that the whole lead time didn't shrink, but there was needed less overtime because the setup was saved. Is it understood? Yes or no? Even though from time to time engineer was waiting. Okay, I understand that you are busy now, so I'll wait for you. What is then? What can we learn from it? What is the solution for the bad multitasking? We have to understand what we want is not to save the time per the task. What we want is to save the time from the minute the task starts until somebody else can work on it. The lead time is unrelated to the actual time working on the task if we have bad multitasking.
I know the quality of audio uh, over a platform like this may not be always clear. That's why I explained to you what the video was, right? So the gist is this. The summary is this: that reduce the task switching. In order to do that, in order to reduce the task switching, reduce the work assigned. Completely counterintuitive, completely opposite to the current common sense. Yet it produces result. You heard Dr. Goldratt talking about. Let me share some of my personal experiences. So what did we conclude so far? That a high utilization does not lead to high productivity. Starting work early does not help complete the work early. And at the foundation, I mean, what those two things mean is that a resource sitting idle is not a waste. Our current belief is wrong. It's false. We need to change it. And I personally have experienced many such, incidents, cases. So let me share a few of my personal implementations. This is a, a large IT company. Here I'm in Thane, Mumbai. This company is based in Airoli. Okay, large company. We picked up two of their client operations and we implemented this. Let me give you a background. This particular client operation is working on maintenance of SAP modules. So the customer will report and this team will get assigned a ticket and then they will resolve it. What was happening? Exactly like the aircraft F-16 scenario. As soon as the work is coming in, the ticket is coming in, it is assigned to an engineer. It's assigned to one of those software experts. We changed that. We reduced the number of tickets assigned. And within 4 to 5 weeks, we saw the time to resolve came down by 2/3. And that is about 200% improvement. And the objective here is reduce the time to complete those tickets. Each ticket is a project, right? Small project. As soon as you are able to do this, you will be able to complete more tickets. You'll be able to complete more work within the same time, which means they will not need so many people on that project, which means they can depute them to the other projects. This company is large. They are winning new deals all the time. So all the time they need to hire. In fact, some of these large companies are hiring almost as if, some medium-sized companies every month, right? That is how much hiring is happening. So the load on hiring goes down. They can operate, they can service the customer at a lower cost. They can redeploy the existing people, trained people, to newer projects. So the new projects ramps up faster. I mean, just an example. Another case is about a large telecom company, which also is somewhere in that region. In this company, we implemented this method in their recruitment team. Once a position is identified, somebody will source candidates meaning the CVs. They will filter it, they will shortlist it, arrange interviews, whatever multiple rounds, and then make an offer. And once the offer is made, then they will be onboarded, right? So we were able to reduce sourcing to offer lead time in about 4 to 5 weeks. In about 4 to 5 weeks, we could double the number of offers made, sourcing to offer, right? So you're seeing a variety of implementations. Let me share with you another. This is one of the uh, Tata Group companies. They are into manufacturing um, suspensions based in Pune, and we implemented this method in couple of departments in their factory, in their business development, R&D. R&D is project, right? Look what the R&D guy is saying. The R&D lead is saying that initially it used to take 10 to 12 days time to complete whatever was assigned to his team. By reducing WIP, WIP, work assigned, the time to complete came down from 10 to 12 days to 6 to 7 days. He's also claiming that the firefighting has reduced. One common thing or one most prevalent thing about project management is the firefighting, right? Look at the same company, what the engineering team is talking about. Saying my team member was able to complete 5 drawings in 2 weeks compared to what it was taking 3 weeks. So 5 drawings used to take 3 weeks. Now it is getting completed in 2 weeks. All these results, a variety of production, all these results by just doing one thing. And what is that one thing? Reduce the switching. And how do you reduce the switching? By reducing the work assigned. So a lot of time people will think, hey, if I assign less work, then less work will get done. No. When you assign less work, whatever is assigned will get completed faster. And as soon as you see when something is complete, you will assign more. So in this case, the fighter jet case, the F-16 case, what was happening? They were assigned only 3. As soon as one of the 3 is completed, they will assign one more. So at any point in time, they will have only 3 to work on. So by assigning less work, you're not going to see less work getting completed. You will see more work getting completed because whatever has been assigned will get completed faster and you will assign more. It is like, uh, it is like in our home, when mummy will not give you all the 5 chapatis all together, right? She will make one and give you a hot chapati. And then while you are finishing it, she will make the next one and give you the next one. That is the principle happening here. So guys, the main obstacle to flow is task switching. Some of you will call it multitasking. The more task switching, the more multitasking, the more damage it will cause to both quality and lead time. Hope you are connecting with this. Let me take a feedback. Are you connecting with this? Are you connecting with this?
Yes.
Awesome. Super. I love it. I love it. Which means there is a possibility that you will be able to implement it and get results. Okay, so let me share with you why this works. Why does this work? Why does reducing WIP, reducing the work assigned, why does reducing the task switching work. What is the science behind it? Let me share. Okay. So you see that you look at any work, okay, any piece of work which starts and then gets completed. The journey of that work, you will see it going through a start, stop motion, which means the work is happening and then it will get paused. Then after some time, the work will start again, then it'll get paused. This journey, when you look at in totality, you will see, I'm calling this the time when the work is happening, I'm calling this the touch time or the processing time. And when the work is not happening, when the work is paused for whatever reason, I'm calling it the waiting time. So I'm the waiting time of the job, the work, not people. Okay. I'm not talking about the waiting time of the resources. I'm talking about the job is waiting. That code that you had written yesterday, it had to be progressed today, but it is waiting for you to start because you are working on probably fixing up some previous code that has come back as a quality, or in that construction place, you have created that structure where you will pour, but now you are waiting because the truck has not come with the concrete. It's waiting, right? So the touch time and the waiting time are the two different stages the work will go through in his journey. And when you look at it, a large part of the journey is waiting time. The job is waiting. A large part. It can be as high as 95%, or probably it could be as low as 60, 70%. So where is the opportunity to crash the time to complete? Is it touch time or waiting time? It's in the waiting time. So by reducing the switching, when it is switching, what you have switched from is going to wait. By reducing the switching, you are reducing the waiting time. And that is why the time to complete comes down drastically. All your improvement efforts today is focused on reducing the touching time, the touch time, the processing time. How can I pour the concrete faster? Oh no, that is work is happening. Let it take its time. Can you just make sure the concrete is available? Giving you an example. So this is the secret. By reducing the WIP, the work assigned, you are reducing the opportunity to switch. By reducing the opportunity to switch, you are reducing the waiting time. By reducing the waiting time, you are crashing the time to complete. Make sense? Make sense? Does it make sense? Energy spread is avoided for limit. Absolutely, Ashish, you got it. Super, Merlin, great. That was my objective, to open you guys up for a dramatic way of reducing it. Claim code piece, please. What does that mean? Okay, good.
We'll share the PDF code by end of the day. Yeah,
Guys, stay focused here. Because if you are doing this for the PDU, like, sorry, okay. If you're doing this for the PDU, I'm sorry. No, you have a very small expectation. I'm sharing with you the secret to a dramatic performance. Even if you don't get the PDU for this, just telling you. Okay, I have two more slides to share. Okay. Very, very important slide. Okay. So let me share the screen back. And here it is. Look, there are many obstacles to many, meaning 7 or 8 obstacles to the flow, that when all these 7 or 8 are improved, you will see a super flow happening. But don't worry about the other 7. Right now, you only get focused on multitasking. Reduce multitasking by cutting the WIP, the work in progress dramatically, and you will already see a super flow. The other issues, as you reduce multitasking, the other issues will get exposed. Today, these issues are hidden because of the amount of work in progress, the amount of multitasking happening. All these issues are hidden. But the moment you put in this principle, this rule of reducing the multitasking, all these issues will get exposed and it will get forced to be resolved. So right now, just stay focused on this one obstacle or to the flow, multitasking. And I want to share with you how to implement this. Awesome. Thank you, Marlene. Can I share with you? Will you be interested in Vaishali? Thank you. And can I share with you how to implement this? Okay. It is, if I don't share this slide, the next slide, this is my last slide, how to implement, then what is the point in exciting you to a new idea? So it will be job half done if I don't share the implementation with you. So probably we'll go over the time by a few minutes, but let me share with you the implementation. Okay. Here it is. Look, it's a new method. It's a radical idea. Sounds good, but talk to your manager or your skip level and they will give you a slap. Right? Saying ki, what nonsense. I'm saying, don't try to implement this in a big scale. Do a pilot. Do a test. Do a test. Create a proof of concept before adopting this as the main way. Okay. The pilot should be 4 to 5 weeks. Pilot can't be a few days. It has to be 4 to 5 weeks. You will start seeing results in the first week itself. But the next week, the subsequent week, it will go down. The result will go down. At that time, don't think that this doesn't work. That is the nature of implementation. Every implementation I've seen this, the second or the third week, the performance will go down and then it'll spring up. So give it 4 to 5 weeks. Give it 4 to 5 weeks, even if you don't agree with what is happening. Just commit yourself to the entirety of the pilot. Just do it. Now, what do I mean by pilot? Okay, what I mean by pilot is, let's say you have a team of 7 or 8 people or 5 or 6 people. Just pick up 2 or 3 people from there and just apply this method. What method? Reduce the number of work assigned to them at any point in time. Keep a tight check. Have you completed it? If they have completed it, give one more. And rest of the team, they're working the way they used to work. They have been working for whatever past. So do it with a few people, 2 or 3 people. Doesn't matter which department are you in, which function are you in. Just reduce the number of work assigned to them. And when I say reduce the number of work assigned, if they have 50 things to work on right now, don't make it 49. You're not going to see any results. Make it at least 25. At least 25. If you don't have the heart, the courage to bring it down to 3 or 5, Make it at least 20, half, make it at least half. And what will you do with the other half? Pull it back. Give them a very strict instruction not to touch it, even if they are going to sit idle. Okay. Don't give them the opportunity to work on it. You're forcing them. See, people will get afraid when the number of work that is assigned, the amount of work that is assigned, if it comes down dramatically, drastically, people will get worried. Do I have a job? Is she thinking of firing me? So you have to give them the confidence that, look, I'm trying a new method. This is a pilot. This is an experiment. Make them feel safe. Make them feel safe. And when they are stuck with whatever limited work you have given, instead of making them pick up the next one, get involved to help them resolve it. As soon as that is resolved, assign one more. Assign the next one only when the assigned one is completed. And again, don't wait for all the assigned to get completed. If you have assigned them 5, as soon as one is completed, assign them one more so as to maintain a WIP. It is very, very important that you help people feel safe about this. So tell them, if things go wrong, it's my responsibility. This is an experiment. And if this experiment works, it's going to do wonders. You will also see the moment people start seeing results, they will get excited. Their stress will come down. I'm not saying the amount of work that they need to complete will come down. The pressure will be good, but the stress will come down. So this is the implementation step. If you take care of this, do this right away, start this tomorrow, first day of the week. I had plans of sharing one more method, but don't worry about it. Just do this. My last advice, is this. Don't overthink about this. Don't overthink about this method and analyze. Just do the pilot. Judge it only after you experience the pilot. Okay, so if you have any questions, if you have any clarifications that you need, I'm available here now, or you can connect me with on the LinkedIn and we can chat there. I'm available to help you. Okay, to bring clarification about this method. And with that, let me stop repeating. Just don't think about this too much. Just do it. Oh, Hindi mein there is a saying, right? Karo to jano. You will know about it only when you do it. Okay. With that, let me stop sharing and get back to Girish.
Please unmute yourself if you have any questions, please.
I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes, Deepak.
See, regarding work assignment, if say it is not assigned, then it is a first stage and there is a SLA tied to it. That ticket is not assigned, in a stipulated time. So that is the concern.
Yes, absolutely. I faced this during implementation in that IT company. Okay. Yes, I understand what you're saying, but you will have to figure out your way of doing it.
Okay.
If you reduce WIP, things are going to get completed faster. I mean, that's given. That's given. That's going to happen. Now, how to get there? Okay, how to manage with the existing rules? You'll have to figure that out yourself. Thank you, Deepak.
I have one
Rohit,
question.
Marlene, yes.
Can you hear me?
Ashish.
Yes. Yes. My question is whether there is a limit for the assignment which we give to the team members, that can be reduced to, or any
Yes,
ballpark figure is
yes,
there? Yeah.
yes. Thank you for asking this. It's a very important question. Um, hey, how much can I reduce it? Okay. Yes, there is a limit. Okay. If you go below that limit, you will actually start seeing uh, dip in performance. But the great thing about this, that you have so much task switching happening now, that even if you reduce by 90%, you are still are in the safe zone. But here I'm asking you to only reduce it by half. So just reduce it by half and experience it.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Good.
Manu, this is Rohit. Just have one question.
Yes,
See,
Rohit.
I manage a team where we have a sprint of every 2 months. It goes to production, and the sprint is of 6 weeks, where it has to go to the model and the regression happens. So technically, I've got only 6 weeks. Now you said that you need to look at or monitor this for 4 to 5 weeks. But if my sprint itself is of 6 weeks,
Hmm,
agree that I will do pilot for I mean I've got about 10 people, I mean 7 8 people.
hmm,
I'll do
hmm,
pilot for only 2 people, kind of a thing. So is there a specific or what you say ratio or something that how much percentage versus people or something like that, that would be an optimal way to implement this or something, because I do not want to jeopardize that in the end of the day, because that backlog is it's scheduled kind of a thing based on a number of hours and all that, and that is what is committed to the customer. Now
right.
if we put it less in the production, that means those problems are not fixed, the rest of the problems are not fixed, and it will not go to production again. It will come back from from sponsors and all that. So is it that basically a ratio that we need to maintain or something?
One of the bad things that we all have learned, okay, over a period of so many years, is to get some precise number, some formula, okay, and till I get that formula, I cannot proceed. We have learned ourselves. All I'm saying is that there is such a huge opportunity. You try it out. You try it out. I am telling you, in the last 13 years, I haven't seen one implementation which didn't benefit from this. One implementation I haven't seen which didn't benefit from it. So if the time to complete is going to come down, right now, how do you make that change happen? Can you get your client agree to this? I don't know. Some clients are so difficult that even
Mhm.
bringing this method up to them is like a you know so you're going to do a pilot, so you choose a client which is easy to do. You choose a client who will help you to you choose a client who you can hide this from. I'm saying, you
Mhm.
try this out. You do
Yeah,
this.
yeah. I mean, can't tell the client that I'm not going to deliver because there is a lot of backlog and
I'm
things.
just
Yeah.
saying, do what
Yeah.
you have to do to
Mhm.
do the trial, right? I've
Mhm.
seen many people who didn't tell their boss that I'm doing a trial because the boss was okay. You do, as long as the problem doesn't come up to my head, I'm okay with whatever you do. That was the attitude of the boss. And he will quietly did the pilot, took the results to the boss, and the boss like, wow, what happened? And then he explained the method. There are other
Mhm.
cases where right at day one, people brought it up to their boss and they agreed to do a pilot. So I do not understand what situation you are in. I'm saying do whatever required
Mhm.
to get a pilot done, get a trial done.
Correct. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So need to determine kind of a thing which is kind of maybe lesser risky or something, but at least I
Ah,
can get some results kind of thing. Maybe one or
correct,
two people, and maybe
correct.
split the thing, but one is the who's doing the best and one is doing the worst. Get two people like that.
Good,
So I,
good,
in
good
fact,
way to
actually
look.
only one person rather than two people. In fact, right?
See, it is better to do a pilot with at least two people. So, sometimes something may go wrong during implementation. So you have something else to compare with. So
Mm-hmm.
2 or 3 people is good. But if you have no other way, so do it with one.
Mm-hmm.
The most important thing about this is doing a trial, guys. Just do a trial and then decide.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, yeah. This is what I wanted to bring in kind of specifically,
Yes.
in that the timeline that I'm having, right? And that's the reason.
Right.
Okay. Thanks. Thanks, Manu.
Good. Anybody else? Yes, Sumit. I'm glad you enjoyed. I'm glad you find value in the 2 hours on a Sunday. So, shall we close it then here? I'm available on LinkedIn. So, please connect if you have to get any more clarification. I hope you have a successful trial.
Uh,
Okay, all the best.
So,
Bye.
thank you, Manu sir, for this wonderful and knowledgeable session. Of this may not make project management any easier, but you could shorten the lead time significantly. We have
Eh,
really enjoyed this
Sorry, Girish.
today's interactive
I lied.
session.
I lied about. Sorry, Girish. I lied about the title. If the time to complete comes down, will project management not become easier? Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So
Over
on
and out
behalf,
then.
no, sir. One on behalf of PMI Mumbai chapter, I would like to present a certificate to you. Please
Oh,
accept
wow.
this certificate as a token of appreciation for giving us your time and effort and having
Thank
this
you.
knowledgeable session. You will be receiving soft copy of certificate in mail.
Thank you.
F- Feedback link is for the this is for the participants. Feedback link is provided in the chat box. Request all participants to provide a feedback so that we can incorporate changes in the upcoming sessions. For claiming PDs, we will be sending the mailers. So happy Sunday. 1 minute. Yeah, so this is a certificate for you. So we'll be
Thank you.
sending this to the mail.
Thank you, Girish.
Yeah, thank you, sir. And have a great Sunday. Thanks all for participants for
Yeah,
joining this
we'll
session.
have a great Sunday. We need to win the World Cup, man, today.
Okay. So I'm concluding the session today. Thank you all for joining again.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello. Where is the link?